From the incident at the Andrews Market in North Charleston to Governor Martin O Malley's town hall meeting on Saturday, community activist Pastor Thomas Dixon sits down with me one-on-one for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. Pastor Dixon.
How you doing, brother?
I'm doing great.
Good.
We saw each other yesterday at the Martin O Malley town hall meeting.
Yes.
Let me begin there because, obviously you were there and you actually said this on April 8th on Facebook, quote, today. After attending town halls with Tim Scott, Mark Sanford, and Lindsey Graham, I'm going to this one today just so I can at least attend one town hall this year where the speaker doesn't make me feel like I've lost my mind.
Yes, unquote.
No alternative facts today, that's what you said.
Yes.
Where's your mind right now after you went to the town hall meeting for Martin O Malley?
Well, first off, thank you for having me today. I really appreciate you.
Anytime.
Governor O Malley articulated the Democratic platform extremely well. He talked about something that President Obama talked about much, hope and change. He talked about not looking at the present situation, but how we can improve on where we're at, what we can do to make a difference. Whereas, and I have attended those other town hall meetings. I've been there with Lindsey Graham and Tim Scott and Mark Sanford.
Right.
And I leave those meetings with a feeling like I must be out of my mind because everything they say is contrary to the logic that I know. At almost 65 years old, I didn't get this old being a fool. But for some reason or other, alternate facts seem to be believed by some as reality or embraced by some as reality. But the reality is that yesterday, as I listened to Governor O Malley speak, as he clearly articulated not only the issues, but he talked about how he has realistically improved on the issues that we've seen during his term as governor in Maryland. I was able to leave from there with a smile on my face and a glad heart. Unlike leaving from the town halls that I've attended with our Republican counterparts.
You probably saw this as you were coming down I-26, and this is a big story right now. And this is coming from Poston Corey, quote, "You have awakened a sleeping giant. Confederate group displays flags above I-26 near Somerville." When you hear that, what sticks out to you?
First off, that we have a fringe element that is continuing to promote their belief, propagate their belief in the Confederate battle flag. It's not, I don't believe it's based on the heritage aspect that many talk about. I believe that they're using that aspect of the representation of that flag as an excuse. I believe that they're actually treading on the graves of their ancestors because they're using that flag to incite trouble, not to say, I want my history and my heritage to be respected. They're using it as an issue to inflame and to cause division and to literally, strike up the same thing that Dylan Roof wanted, the rise of the Old South, or the New South as they want to call it. The same thing that the rhetoric that Donald Trump won his election based on, about making America great again. Well, as far as I'm concerned, America is great right now. Can use some improvement, but it's already great. So when he talked about making it great again, apparently he was talking about returning to a time period where, for some people apparently, that it was greater than what it is right now. And the only thing that I could see where he might have been referring to was to a period where the white folks more or less ran the show while black folks took care of all of the physical business and other minorities. And it appears to me that, that rhetoric has awakened the sleeping, did they say giant or dragon? I believe they said the sleeping dragon. And if they did, then that's seriously problematic when we talk about the referrals to, under the Confederate battle flag, to the KKK, to the Ku Klux Klan, who we know that their They deal with grand dragons and things of that sort. So as I see that, I'm placed in that position where I have to encourage our people to maintain a level head in these situations. That's not to say that I'm not enraged. Anytime I see that flag, no matter who's holding it, a baby could be holding that flag who has no idea of what that flag is about, I still get enraged because I know the history of that flag and my people. But I still have to encourage those who are enraged like me to keep a level head and to address the issue in a legal and legitimate way without violence. Don't fall victim to the game. This is what Dylan Roof wanted. This is what he literally said that he was trying to do. Start a race war by killing innocent black people. And anytime that we lower our standard to embrace what he wanted to happen, then we're no better than he is. And so, but we are better than that. We are better than that. So my suggestion is, when it comes to this flag issue, and these folks, the sons of the Confederate veterans or the secessionists or whomever it might be who are doing this flagging, as they're calling it, I would suggest that we develop teams that are ready to move anytime that they display these flags to set up an alternate display, not an alternative, but an alternate display that would depict the hatred aspect of that flag. You see, right now they're kind of victorious in what they do, because anytime that you see them, you only see what they want us to see, this supposedly heritage image. But I think that we need to have visual presence with Black Lives Matters flags, the Black Liberation flags, right? Anytime they set up, let's set up those. Let's pass out leaflets right next to them or near them to people that might pass or whatever, with depicting what the lynchings looked like and the beatings of slaves, how slaves were treated on the plantations, that it wasn't such a nice thing as they're trying to more or less avoid from portraying. So I think that we might be able to balance the scales a little bit with them if we portray right next to them the aspect of the hatred that slavery, that the Confederate flag represents. So we have the slavery, then we have them. Then let the people figure out what the reality is in the middle of there somewhere. Let those who observed it figure it out. And who knows, if we do that, maybe even a couple of them will start to realize, man, maybe we need to stop doing this.
Let me take you back down I-26 to North Charleston. This following headline was on abcnews4.com. Community activist says nothing has changed since Walter Scott's death 2 years ago. You actually said this on Facebook, quote, there's a better way, but the people who have the power to make it better way, refuse to cooperate with those who know the way. So what is the way?
The way started with the North Charleston Coalition for Citizens, I forget what it was called, but we came up with a 13-point platform that was presented to the mayor of North Charleston shortly after, within I think it was like 2 months after the murder of Walter Scott. And the first thing on that was the establishment of a civilian review board with subpoena power. Now, we just celebrated, I can't say celebrated, that's definitely the wrong term. We just passed the second anniversary of the Walter Scott murder, coming up on 2 years from when we presented those 13 items. And basically, none of them have been respected by the mayor or the city council there. What they call right now their Citizens Advisory Commission, this is something that the mayor has successfully implemented using the Department of Justice program specialist that's here, who is not an investigative arm of the DOJ, to put up a group of people that are supposed to be representing the community, but the reality is they were not selected by the community. They were selected by the city council members, and many of which they had made their decisions, they made their minds up even before the selection process or the applications to supply for those positions were even put on the table. These people basically they were handpicked by the council, by the mayor, and the community has no reason to believe that they are going to operate with the level of transparency that we were demanding through our the request for a citizens review board with subpoena power. So I don't see where the transparency that we need in order to ensure that our law enforcement officers in North Charleston, we don't encounter this, that the pretext traffic stops are eliminated, even though there has been a reduction, that the steps that it's going to take in order to level a playing field between what has traditionally been an over-aggressive police force and a community that does not trust that police force, those steps that are going to bring it so that the police are the community representatives and the community feels like the police represent them. I don't feel right now, 2 years after Walter's Cat, that those measures are in place, and I don't see whereas the current administration in North Charleston wants them in place. Because other than that, they could have done this 2 years ago and done it according to the simple request that we put in writing to them. But instead they ignored it, they arrogantly denied it, and ultimately, until it happens again, then we have to go along with this program, at least until we get an opportunity to vote them out once again.
Let me take you down Dorchester Road from where the Walter Scott incident happened 2 years ago to the Andrews Market.
Certainly.
Obviously, the world has already seen the video of the shoplifting suspect being, I guess, tortured with a sword or whatnot, allegedly, by the store owners. When you look at that video to right now, what is the biggest thing that sticks out in your mind?
The biggest thing that sticks out in my mind, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, is the reception that the world had over it. That many people talked about the fact that he shouldn't have been stealing and this, that, and the other. And it's the misconception that the world has of the stores in our community of that type. In black communities, not only in North Charleston, not only the Andrews Market, whatever, discount market or whatever it's called, but in stores that are owned by Midwesterners, the Middle Easterners across the United States. I've been in, as they say, in the hood. I've lived in the hood all my life, but for like the last 35 to 40 years, since many of the larger chain stores moved out of our communities, they were replaced by these stores that were run by various ethnicities of Middle Easterners. And there has not been a good relationship between the community and these people. And yes, I said these people. Very seldom have I run into, in my years of interacting in communities in Oakland, California, Chicago, Illinois, Philadelphia, down in Florida, these stores, they're usually the same profile. When you walk in, there's these stores, they sell drug paraphernalia, they sell crack pipes, they sell digital scales, they inflate their prices. A gallon of milk that would normally cost $4 will cost $6 or $7. They prey on food stamp recipients who might want to exchange food stamps for money or whatever, and at a rate of, give me $5 worth of food stamps and I'll give you $1. That type of a thing. Now, I'm not making this up. This is just the reality of what these folks have done in my community across the nation. Right along with the fact that they have, I've seen it, and I know many women in our community who frequent these stores where they are propositioned by these people who run the stores for sex and for other favors in exchange for merchandise, goods, or whatever. Yeah. So when I think about Andrews Market and the video, I'm not surprised at what happens, because there are Andrews Market videos like that never surface across this nation and have been there for years. It's just that, thank God, this time there was exposure. It got the recognition. But I want everybody to know, as they listen to this interview, that that's not an isolated situation. That's happened to black men across the nation at these kinds of stores. And we're about fed up of it. And thank God for this video, that now it can be addressed openly and candidly, and hopefully some results. I'm still at a loss. I'm trying to figure this thing out. Why is it that the gentleman that was beaten with the sword, held at gunpoint, slapped around and everything, why is he the only one that went to jail? These two, that the perpetrators in this, they still haven't been arrested. No charges brought against them. There's something wrong in that. What they did was wrong. It was a violation of the law by basically taking the law into their own hands. They became not only the police in that, they were the judge and they were the executioner in that. Fortunately, and this is my personal opinion, sure, I'm happy that there was somebody there with a video camera physically recording them, because that young man might be dead today.